think we're live, folks.
All righty.
Yay! Hey, everybody. Thank you for joining us. We are the Right Perspective podcast, and we are, for the second time, doing a live debrief, recap, discussion of This Is Us. And apparently the last episode for 2020, which was episode 4. Oh, and it was so good. It was so good.
Spoilers.
It was so
Spoilers.
Man,
coming at you.
Abound.
Coming at you.
Spoilers are coming.
Coming at you hot.
Coming hot.
Yeah.
Spoilers coming hot.
Hot bread.
Hot bread.
Really?
It's spoilers cooking.
Spoilers cooking.
Spoilers are cooking.
So let's introduce ourselves, bro and sis, and then we can hop right in.
Hi, I'm Aubrey Wright. I'm the oldest.
I'm Janiyah Wright. I'm the middle.
Hi, I'm Brittany Wright. I'm the youngest.
And it comes across in how you introduce yourself.
Listen. You mean that they had to stop? That Paul had to go and chop a tree down on himself after he met me?
Nobody's going to get that reference.
Okay.
All right, so
unless they're true fans of the Right Perspective podcast.
Yeah.
All right. So listen, this show's so good. Oh my
I'm
gosh.
sharing this right now.
I don't even know where to begin. Where do we begin?
It's just very hard to decide where to begin
It's hard.
because it's so good.
Hey, Rachel.
I mean, hey, Rachel.
Greetings and salutations.
All right. So y'all, where should we start? Should we try to go character by character by character? Why don't we start with Kate and Toby?
That's really it. I think what we have to do.
Here we go. Kate and Toby.
Let's start with Kate and Toby, because I do feel we need to leave Randall for last. Can we all agree that Randall needs to be left for last?
I mean, for every episode, you do save the best.
This is definitely a Randall centric episode.
It was in terms of
there's obviously a lot else going on. Don't get me wrong, but I'm just saying
the big wow,
the big shockers.
Well, we had a big Kate shocker too.
I was about to say they had been leading up to that.
No, you're right.
Well, let's hop on in. Let's hop on.
All right, good.
So fans of the Right Perspective podcast know that we just talk until we're done. And usually that's like 90 minutes, 2 hours. Today, we are keeping ourselves to a 30-minute timing.
Right.
We can do this, folks. It's 10:24 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to be done in 30 minutes. Okay, so Kate, oh my gosh. So Kate and Toby, they are really bonding with this birth mother. And we got a little nervous because they named the baby. They wanted to name the baby Chloe. And in the sonogram, the mother looked like she tensed up when Kate revealed the name of the baby.
Kate said the name of the baby.
Oh my God.
And look, let me tell you something. It's so crazy about This Is Us that you know they're always doing something, but because they're always doing something, it allows you to just experience the moment because you don't know what they're going to do.
Where is it going?
Listen, they're so
It could have went either way.
It's just
there we are. You don't know. Is the birth mother gonna ham up and want to keep the baby?
Is she gonna want to keep the baby? Was she all the way on board?
Was she all the way on board
until this name just popped out?
And what I loved about Kate was Kate could have just not raised the question. She could have not raised the question. She could have just left, with dazed and confused. I wonder how it's going to go, living in the anxiety, but she didn't. She just stepped right up and she said, "Hey, Ellie." Her name was Ellie, right? She was like, "Hey, Ellie.
I can't remember her name.
Are you having second thoughts?"
Brittany,
I
don't remember it.
Looks like
pregnant lady.
Let's call her baby. Let's call her baby mama. Baby mama.
It's pregnant lady one.
Pregnant lady one.
That's the name.
Are you having second thoughts? PL1. Are you having second thoughts? And that actress who's playing that PL1, ooh, she's very good.
That is just so bad.
She's so good though, because the situation she's in, she has lost her husband. He died tragically. And now she had one night stand. She's already struggling to adapt to life as a single mother. One night stand, and she gets pregnant. Well, first of all, let this be a message: wear a condom, people. But second of all, I think she did.
Also,
that was a
there's
PSA.
something called the
Lock it up
after pill.
There are so many solutions she didn't deploy.
There's so many steps.
But listen, we're not going to be judging, and I'm looking.
And it's not a statement of judgment. It is about takeaways. It's about takeaways. It's about learning and growing. Okay, and that's what this show wants us to do.
In the mind, we need to.
In our mind.
In the mind.
And so, but that actress, she does such a good job because you see she's struggling. She's like, my gosh, the enormity of this. But I also saw that as she was so transparent about the enormity of all the decisions she was struggling with, that she was so clear at this point. And we still don't know. But at this point, she seems like she's pretty clear, you know. But the whole thing, it brought some stuff up for Kate, y'all. Woo, y'all didn't see that coming.
Hey, look.
Y'all didn't see that coming.
Curveball.
Let me tell you something. Out of all the things, I just wasn't expecting that.
And we knew Kate, because we knew it's been mysterious for seasons now. What happened with Kate and that whack boyfriend from high school, from right after high school? We knew that something traumatic had happened, but we just didn't know what it was. What did y'all think it might have been?
Because in one episode, Kate and Rebecca had a moment where they were kind of like reflecting on whatever that was. And I had thought maybe he had beat her up or, you know, I thought that was really it. Like it was like to the point of death or something. Like, you know, it was almost that, it was that close. Like she really, or she had.
It is Ellie, by the way.
Huh?
It's Ellie. It is.
Perfect.
Ellie.
First draft, it was PL1.
Ellie, PL1.
I just felt so bad.
Because she's so good. She deserves to be named.
She's so good. But yeah, I thought it was going to be like abuse or she was going to try to commit suicide. I did not say to myself, Brittany, oh yes, this is an abortion.
Well, yeah, I mean, definitely, I think.
Or miscarriage, because
we don't know. All we know is a pregnancy. All we know is a pregnancy.
All we know is a pregnancy. But I think I went along the same lines as Britt. Like when they were setting it up, I thought it's probably going to be an abuse situation or something.
That's exactly what I thought.
Because that dude is crazy. And we don't have to give him a name. We call him
worst.
We'll call him the worst. So
the absolute worst.
Yeah, the absolute worst.
If I ever even see that actor on the street that portrayed that character,
it's gonna be tough.
I'm going to take off these clip-on earrings. Look how they just came right off.
You gonna get real streety?
Where's my Vaseline? Where's my Vaseline?
Because I will fight him, because you know what? He was so using that mental trickery to manipulate that young woman with a low self-esteem.
You know what? It's not this episode. Let's keep it. It's not this episode. We're not going to go there.
Ladies, you are beautiful. You are amazing. And you don't need no man to talk to you.
You don't.
But I will say it's definitely a Joffrey situation. It's definitely Joffrey. But anyway, just like
so now in my head, I was like, this is King Joffrey.
But just like Brittany said, but when they were in the episode, I was like, when she was reaching the thing, I was like, yo, is there gonna be some pills? You know what I'm saying?
Like, is it suicide? What is it? I thought it was a
suicide attempt.
I thought it could have even just been binge eating, suicide, binge eating, but no, pregnancy test.
Ooh,
my gosh. I didn't know what was going to be in that drawer. You know, it could have been tickets somewhere to go on a trip.
So what do you think? Let's not speculate too much. But
I do want to speculate.
Listen, we got all the way till January 5th to do that.
No.
Let's speculate.
Truly. But listen, what do you think is going to happen?
Well, either she has a miscarriage, she goes away for the summer, births a child and gives it up for adoption, or she has an abortion. Okay? I mean,
Or she's pregnant, he finds out and he punches her in the stomach.
I hate to say
Dang,
it.
Britt.
Brittany, I wasn't
Listen,
gonna say it.
He's
That-
crazy.
I was putting that under miscarriage, sis.
No.
But
But
I'm
you
happy
know
you
what,
said
Britt?
it.
Oh man.
These
happy you
people,
said
it
it.
makes me think of that Eve song, Love is Blind. It'll take over your mind. Because what you think is love is truly not. You need to elevate and find.
Mm.
Mm-mm-mm.
Oh, you know what, my
You
sisters,
know
my sisters, you have to look
that
within. You have to look within for what you need. Look within, my sisters. Do
How
not
you
look to.
gonna win if you ain't right within?
how are you gonna win?
Okay, so
All right. So anyway, yeah. So
that's Kate.
that whole thought process that Brittany
Yep.
just dropped just depressed me for a second. But I'm gonna just move forward.
But
Now,
that's
listen,
this show, bro.
that's
this show because
Yeah,
because this show is every possibility. That's what makes it so
That's
good
the show.
because life
It's
contains every possibility.
every possibility.
And shout out to the writers, how they again brought 2020 into this show where they were like, oh, only one person can be in the doctor's office with you. Like they're
keeping it so real.
were. But and then showing how now, even though technology has always been a thing, it's even more relevant now because now Toby didn't miss anything. Back in the day, if something like this would have happened, Toby would have missed all that.
So true.
And all you had to do was turn the camera around now. So just showing the change of times.
So true.
How William had to stalk the firefighter all the way to the hospital quietly. And now, you just have these different things that are just showing the changes of time.
Yeah. I mean, it's and that I guess we could, because that was Kate's big reveal. So I guess we could use that conversation you're talking about to spill into Kevin, because of course, Kevin is now, he just got this big role and he's working with this big director. And when they walk in, of course, they got the social distancing.
They've been quarantining.
They talked about
to prepare.
quarantining to get ready. And it's so funny because when you're what I love about This Is Us is we know it's not going to be smooth because, again, it's life, but you don't know what direction they're going to take. Like, because she's real pretty, the actress he's playing against, and you're thinking, okay, like, is that going to be the situation?
Right.
Well, I don't think shenanigans in that sense, but I was thinking, is that going to somehow play into
right
the whole situation with Madison somehow, or what would good? But then when he gets in there, we realize that they're going from the angle that the director really likes the person he's playing against, and he doesn't really give her many notes. He's pretty much saying she's on point, but he is hammering Kevin into the ground with the stopping him and with the notes, and like just basically saying like, you're not doing anything. And of course that brings us, and I love how they connect it all, because that takes us back to the previous, back to in the past, where we get to see parts of Kevin's psyche, forming. So, for example, the mental toughness to be able to go through the director's critiques comes all the way back from his coach pushing him and his dad pushing him, and I thought that was just
well. But bro, the truth is, we have not seen Kevin to be really resilient consistently. He's an alcoholic. And part of it is that he's had so many different ways of coping with stress and with situations, other than just dealing with the situation. Right. So we know alcohol has been a coping mechanism. We know he admitted last episode that fitness, even and trying to look good, is a way that he copes.
Right.
And so we have not known him to find resilience in a positive way.
You're right. And so let me refine and just say it was interesting to see them track back where he found his strength in that moment. In that moment.
I love the way they did that.
You're definitely absolutely right.
Because there's a couple ways he could have taken it. Here he is having a hard time with this director. He could have quit. He could have taken the stress and started drinking. He could have acted out in any number of ways. We've seen him pick fights with people. We've seen him do all kinds of self-sabotage types of things.
Yes.
And
in this instance,
gotcha. Which we were like, which one is he going to do? And it turns out that the director really is just challenging him to be great. He's saying, you're doing a fine job. You could be good or you could be great. And you said it, bro, the way that we got a chance to look back into his childhood, and we saw another situation where he was getting challenged to be great, not just good. And it was with football. And the person challenging him in that story, that high school age storyline, was his father. It was Jack. It was Jack saying, stop quitting. You can't quit. You have to stick with this football. It started to get hard. Kevin wanted to quit. He didn't want to do what it took. And his father was like, no, you've got to keep going. But what I really appreciated about that storyline was Jack having to call out the mom, Kate, and say, Kate, you keep coddling Kevin. When things get hard for him, you coddle him. And I wanted to get y'all's reaction to that mom coddle, dad hard, dynamic. Did that ring true for anyone on this podcast?
Oh, no. It made me think about that one line in that Jill Scott song where she says, but I need you to help him be a man. She's like, I can raise my son, but I need you to help him be a man. And so I think about the times that feminine and masculine energy, like what it can be and how people need to have a balance of it in their life, and what stereotypically it can be for someone to be that more of a rough, stay on type of energy and that little more of a soft energy. Unfortunately, we have it characterized, the best way to say it would be feminine and masculine. But we could just say that someone that's a little bit more intense and saying, no, I know this is hard. You're going to keep going through it and you're going to make it. And someone to still be there to pat you on the back, to give you a hug, to put the Band-Aid on when your knee is bleeding. That type of person, that type of energy, you need that balance. You need that balance to be able to grow as hopefully a balanced person. I was just thinking about him being a baby, even Kevin being a baby. He's been needy his entire life. This is not a new thing for Kevin. Him crying, Kate, they said, Kate, and I'm so happy that Kate and Randall are, heavy sleepers, showing that they're more independent, showing that they're more self-sufficient, even as babies, to be able to be that way. But Kevin couldn't sleep through the night without being held. Kevin couldn't sleep through the night without someone coming to check on him and be with him. And so it really does give you that conversation of nature versus nurture. Like, what parts are just him, or what parts are somebody forming him to be the person that he is. So I appreciate seeing him stick it out and say, yeah, you'll see me tomorrow.
I think go ahead, bro.
I mean, obviously growing up in a circumstance where you got your mother and your father around, and I mean, this was exactly the situation you find yourself in so many circumstances. And of course, being raised by a tough father myself, and knowing that how it's prepared me for the world. Obviously these types of scenes speak to me, because here's the thing about mom. Well, I'll just speak from my experience. Mom can't identify. She identifies me being uncomfortable as that's when the ease up needs to happen. And that's not how life works. And it's like, as a father, you could identify that moment in your son, like, no, he could go further. Like you just know that. It's just this instinctive thing. And I just know, for me, in my experience, of course, You learn so much from your relationship with your mother and how to interact with people and just how to interact with women in general. But the necessity for me of that father side to be able to step in, it's like
I'm sorry, go ahead, bro. I'm struggling with the gendered nature of our conversation right now. It's like
I'm not talking about anybody except my experience.
But see, and that's why I preface what I said earlier, because you can't dismiss the dynamic that the society is already in. Like, this is just society. It is what it is. I mean, we can challenge it, but how we were raised was traditional if we're going into that mode. Now, I can get all with my kids is going to be different. If I'm a little harder in the area and Bay is a little harder in the area, it's just going to be the going back and forth. But I know that stereotypically, this is how society is built up, unfortunately.
Well, let me just say one more thing. Can I say one thing? I'm not talking about, I just want to clarify. I'm just speaking from my experience of why this scene speak to me.
No, sure.
Absolutely. And I don't want to get into everybody's whatever, because, that's not even where I'm going. I'm just saying, for me, I know what I'm saying happened to me happened. And I know for me and my mom, I know my mom is the type that, like, if I fell at the park and I scraped my leg or something, I could feel the love coming from her instantly, and it makes you wanna, but then you see Dad, like, and then I felt strong, you know what I mean? So that was just my experience.
And I will say we our household was very traditional. I mean, and part of it is that our mom is like the nurturer of the universe. I mean, it is just like, we're so lucky because, I mean, just in terms of like having that kind of nurturer in your child, in your home as a parent. I mean, we lucked out,
Educator.
So, and it's just pouring out of her. And it's not just on us, anybody around her in the world that is near her is getting nurtured and cared for and coddled. Let's just use the word that is accurate, So that's just how she is, And so and that's how she definitely was in our childhood. But it's so funny because I'm thinking about, I feel like Brittany and I were also raised to be resilient. And it was not in the kind of, oh, you scraped your knee, deal with it way that Aubrey was raised with. So we didn't have that.
There were some different parenting methods going on.
Big time. And I'm sitting.
But you have to parent each child differently.
You do, and that's what I was gonna say. I was trying to think about. How mommy and daddy.
Now I'm starting to get emotional. Now I'm starting to get emotional.
Y'all, I'm trying to think about how daddy.
What that is code for. What Brittany is talking about is how she didn't have to do the dishes before she went out with her friends, go ahead. Oh, you know what? I'm not even going to get into this.
I was trying to think about the different ways. So Brittany, I need you to answer because I don't know the way that Brittany got this lesson. I feel like the way that when I needed a kick in the pants, which wasn't very often because, as you all know, my pants were starched. They were ready to go.
Listen,
but when I needed a kick in the pants,
you.
Yeah, they did. They did. I was kicking those pants.
But come back, bro.
But what's so funny? What's so funny? I really think that what mommy and daddy, and it was mostly daddy, to be honest. I think it was all daddy. What daddy would do when I was like, oh my God, I'm so tired. I don't want to do my homework. I don't want to finish this project. I don't feel like doing the dishes, the chores, whatever. He would say, Janiyah, do you know how many people died so that you would have the opportunity to go? Daddy with me used past generations. Past generations fought for you to have the opportunity and it didn't matter what it was. It could be dirty dishes. Do you know how many people died so that you would have the opportunity to have this dish and have that food that you ate?
So we had wildly different experiences.
And so I was just being haunted. I was haunted by dead ancestors. That's how I was getting my homework done. I felt like they were coming for me if I didn't get the work done because they were depending on me. All past generations were depending on me.
I think I could have got that
done.
point too. I think I could have got that point.
Listen,
Brittany, what tactics did they use for you to kind of teach you resilience and like to get you motivated? Like when you didn't want to do your homework, what did they say?
You know what? It was that as well. I definitely got the slavery speech quite frequently. And but I will also say that it was being the youngest, you have, especially having siblings that are 7 and 4 years older than you, you have examples. And so there was just, they didn't have to really do much, but it was more so it was me putting pressure on myself because this is what I'm looking at. This is what I see. So I know the expectation. And so when I think that it was really just me following in footsteps of what was already done. But there was definitely those like, you can do it. There was the encouragement speech, those different things. But I really think that it was a lot of, I'm imitating what I've seen my siblings do. And so,
oh sis, you just gave us the perfect segue to the rest of what was in the Kevin storyline.
Yeah, I would like to correct that whole wonderful thing Brittany just outlined for you all. It sounded so beautiful, but Brittany just didn't have to deal with that. Okay, I think that my dad told me that they were tired by the time Brittany came.
Which is a true statement. Because listen, let's discuss. My mom thought she was going through menopause when she was pregnant. She went to the doctor. Our mom said she went to the doctor and she was like, I thought he was telling me I was in early menopause. He was like, what?
Wait, but y'all, you reminded me. You reminded me. Daddy.
Go ahead.
There was a point we were all. I think we were having this conversation as a family, and we were saying
which we've had several times.
And Dad was like, "Listen, none of y'all was playing, so you all need to be quiet." And if y'all knew our father, I mean, just his delivery on lines like that would be so hilarious.
All I'm saying is
none of y'all were playing.
Listen, they just lucked out. It had a really sweet daughter named Brittany.
That's what happened. That is the other part of it as well. Like, I was up under our parents. Like,
yeah, she was just very sweet.
If I wasn't at work or a program, I was with them and Aunt Harriet. Like, that was my life growing up. So like,
we're getting way.
I didn't have,
but you know what? But see, this is why I like that we're doing this.
Me too.
Because this is really how we debrief stuff. Like
it's the truth because it brings all these discussions.
But that's why the time constraint is good because it's keeping us focused. And sis, when you were talking about the following what your siblings do, there was something else really good that came out of us watching Kevin, struggle to find the discipline to keep up with his football in high school. He went to the most disciplined person he knew in his life for advice, and it was who? Randall. And so Randall taught Kevin one of his study techniques so that Kevin could memorize the football plays. And we got to see Kevin as an adult still using those tactics. And I loved that, y'all, because it's like, listen, Kevin, Randall, y'all can fight all you want, okay? But you're bound. Your brother. You're bound. He is you. You are him.
Even through all of his anger, he still knows where to go, mentally when it comes to help.
When it's time to really raise the bar.
And I think that that's a great segue into Randall.
Perfect.
One thing about
Set it off, sis. Set it off.
We saw, which is reaching back just a tinge because Kate was in the car and Kate was saying to Kevin, she was processing everything she had with Ellie, her meeting with Ellie. And Kevin didn't really ask that because he was being Kevin. He was just talking about himself at the moment. And then Kate kind of brought it in because she couldn't really focus. And she made the statement as to say, we never really talked to Randall. Randall said that he could never really share that part of himself, and let us know what was going on. And you got a chance to see a little piece of that when Kevin went to him and he was doing his studying tactics. Because Randall, even at that young age, knew that he had to do more as a Black man in an all-white school, as a Black boy in a predominantly white school. He knew that. He knew that at that young age. He couldn't express that, but he knew that he had to be 10 steps ahead just so he could even be considered at the lowest step of somebody else.
Well,
And so
no room for failure.
No room for failure. No room for failure. So
I told Kay's story. I told Kevin's. You got to tell what happened with Randall.
Oh, sure. Okay. So what happened with Randall is we're seeing Randall and he is being city councilman and he's coming downstairs and it's exciting because Malik is about to shadow him.
Deja's boyfriend.
Which is Deja's boyfriend. So of course Deja is like, oh my God, please don't do it. I love
5 minute warning. 5 minute warning.
I love Deja's interaction with Randall. It's the best thing ever.
So good.
Deja is still a child, but she's a little grown because her life has had a little more experience. She plays that part so well.
Yes, she does
so well.
She does.
And so at any rate, Malik is coming to shadow him. He's a little late. They finally get to the job. Malik is there. He's going through all his council things with his assistant. And there is this thing that he does every day.
That's his chief of staff. I think that's his chief of staff. And he does this town hall every day, a virtual town hall that he does every day, just really talking about the things that are going on in the city of Philadelphia. And so he has put Malik in charge to just do one thing, which is to stop this live feed. Hit start and stop.
Okay, start and stop.
And that's it.
This live feed of him talking about what's going on locally. And so he is at the end and he's saying his closing statement. However, Malik has gotten a telephone call because the baby is crying and something is going on. And Malik is a faithful father. So of course he's trying to figure out what's going on with his baby. But while that's happening, Malik misses the cue. And then Malik, as the live feed is still going, Randall is getting dressed and gyrating.
Undressed
and gyrating about on a live feed.
And I love that they did that because that's so 2020.
People
are not being careful with the cameras in this here decade. Oh, come on.
On these live Zoom calls and these live feeds and these
y'all get it together.
From there, though, you see this different type of dynamic happen, as we already saw just a bit between Malik and Randall. Malik is quite wise for his years, and he's had to grow up fast. So you see first Randall coming to Malik, ready to really dig into him and say, listen, basically you had one job. But Malik lets him know, listen, I've been up since 4:30, so I can make it to your house by 8:06. And it puts this reality check in for Randall that I'm talking to somebody that's working just as hard as me, as much as he can in his age, in his range, wherever he is, in his life's circumstances. And they have this heart to heart. Well, long story short, Malik is now going to be interning at the city council. So that is exciting for him. Not exciting for Deja, but it is exciting for Malik to be able to do that. Also, did you guys want me to go into?
No, you need to get to the reveal. Okay.
Okay. So as this video has now gone viral of this councilman getting his magic mic on, who do we see this season? The man is he in Vietnam? Are we?
We don't know.
We don't know. We don't know.
Someone say Vietnam, and I was like, I don't know.
Just now we know that it's the current time.
This is 2020.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
This man is now, wherever he is seeing this video go viral. That we have seen this man from the end of the last episode with his granddaughter. And he's like, who's this woman that's beautiful?
And all the pictures. Yes.
I wanted to pick something up and throw it. I wanted to pick something up and throw it.
The reason why he's able to make this connection because of what Randall says and how he brings it back to his father and how he's doing it in the name of his father.
Right.
See this man replaying this name over and over again, like, hold on, I know this name. That means I know this person. And that means this person is connected to my favorite book.
Now listen, y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and say something that needs to be said right
Go ahead,
now.
say what needs to be said, sis.
Okay, because it absolutely needs to be said.
said.
When right now, what if William is not Randall's father? What if that guy is Randall's father? What if the wife was having an affair? Now, because the show wants us to think that this is the life she resumed after she left Randall and
I'm gonna tell you this.
And William.
But
I was like, what if it wasn't a life after she left Randall and William? What if it was a simultaneous life?
If that is the case, that would be, for me, the first. Randall definitely does not look anything but black. And they usually are incredibly careful with all of those casting decisions. And that one would
I'm
be
still mystified by how they got older tests that look just like younger tests.
Oh,
older
just like
tests have to be in the same family in real life. They just have to be.
have to be. That was a good point. But yeah, but look, I'm just saying that.
But the big wow was
I would be disappointed by that.
That the Asian grandfather is in current day. That was the big wow. And now he knows that William,
at bare minimum,
he knows who Randall is.
At bare minimum, he has more information.
Oh, he's got more information.
Mom. At bare minimum, we don't know if she's still alive.
We don't know what info he has.
But
baby, he knows something.
And I would just let you know.
Several things.
We talked about this last week and we're over, so we're about to stop.
We have to stop.
But we talked about this last week where we didn't know how they were going to connect it.
Mm-hmm.
But we knew it was going to be genius and believable.
So
and
good.
Every step of this story, the fact that Malik was there, the fact that Malik had the chance to run the thing, the fact that he was tired, the fact that Randall was just being Randall, and all of this is very realistic. Now, one thing I will say, just on the side note, I don't have too much sympathy for people because look, when you are on a video chat, you make sure that camera's unplugged, turned off, something before you start gyrating in front of the computer. I just wanted to say that. But that being said, it was a very realistic story and it would go viral. It would go viral.
There's a very important takeaway there about physical health. I mean, at least his body was excellent. Can we all agree that the body was excellent?
Listen, this is
if you're going to go viral.
Randall's in his shape, guy.
If you're going to go viral, do it like that. That's all I'm saying. Now, I didn't need him dancing about to and fro, but I will say that it could have gone.
Listen,
much worse.
Get your dance on, okay?
It could have been much worse.
Because see, we have now moved into the fact that we're no longer calling him Randall. Sterling K. Brown, sir.
Look,
how you doing? Yeah.
Oh, you fine.
And wouldn't it be crazy if that's how he ended up getting put on, you know? Like,
because those kind of viral videos, those are the things that get you on like Jimmy Fallon.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
He didn't do nothing crazy. He was just
no.
He was just changing his shirt or whatever, you know, just being Randall.
Yep.
And it was almost humanizing, you know what I mean? Like he didn't get caught doing something crazy or whatever like that. So.
And you know what? I know we're out of time.
Which really showed his character.
Yeah. I know we're out of time.
Some people could have got off there, took their tie off and been like, oh my God, I'm so tired. I'm ready to go home, blah, 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 blah.
There are two important notes about Malik that I just have to make real fast.
Yes.
Number one, Malik telling his story of what he has to do to prepare for his workday. I love that because it was a great way for us to remember what it means to create an equitable workplace, right? You have to be able to have a work environment that allows people to thrive regardless of what their circumstances are outside of the office. So when Malik becomes an intern, he needs to be able to have a work environment that's going to allow him to be able to do his job well and to be able to take care of his life outside of work. So that's just a note for all human resources professionals out there. Let us all take a note. I appreciated that. And so many times we start to have performance conversations about people without taking a beat to kind of say what's going on.
Exactly.
You know. So that's the first beat. The second thing I wanted to say about Malik is like, did you see how Randall defaulted to trying to give Malik a speech about how to have goals? And then and to inspire him and to motivate him. And then Malik was like, actually, I have ginormous goals and they're awesome. So just give me an internship and leave me alone.
Yeah.
I thought that was,
I'm gonna get to the next level.
I appreciated that because people always assume that Black children are not focused or are somehow demoralized, and somehow need inspiration. And listen, it's not just Black children. It happens now as an adult where people will assume that you need inspiration and you need support. And I was just happy they did that because it's like, listen, don't default to just because every Black child does not have the sorrowful narrative. Okay. Don't walk up to every Black child and assume they have a sorrowful narrative. I can't tell you how many times growing up I had to say, oh, actually, no, my grandparents went to college. Actually, no. Nope, my dad lives with me. He just dropped me off. No, like, because people would just assume that you're in some horrible circumstance. And it would just be like, what are you even talking about? So anyway, that's another note for people. Don't box folks in. If you want to know someone's story, ask them, and they will tell you if they want to. So don't take agency away from people. Absolutely. Thank you, Malik, for reminding us of that.
And that's the right perspective.
And that is the right perspective.
It is.
Yes.
Shout out.
I just want to say
that I made about Randall when he took his shirt off and how it has 102 likes on it and 6 retweets.
I was setting us up for a very dignified rap.
No.
I thought it was good. I thought it was a good rap.
It's all out the window. It's all out the window now.
Once again.
But I do want to.
You need a fresh breeze. You're welcome. Right breeze.
I do want to say that you guys always look fantastic, and you also look fantastic tonight.
Oh, thank you, bro.
Thank you, bro.
You see, y'all, we have
fantastic too.
We have the best bro, y'all. We really do. We really do.
Even though Brittany didn't want to admit that she's just spoiled.
I am. I tell that to people all the time. And I would like to also make it very clear as we're still on live to say my brother and sister in 2020 still enforce that. And as a 35-year-old, I have come to go, yes, and I will take what you give me and I will actually
Oh, Brittany, she keeps thinking she's 35. We all know she's 11. All right, well, that's the right perspective. She'll always be my little Brittany. We just love her.